Okay. You see, here the path of the projectile is represented with x tan theta, y is equal to x tan theta minus g by 2 square cos square theta into x square. As tan theta and g by 2 square cos square theta is constant, we can write y is equal to ax minus bx square. When you compare these two equations, a is equal to tan theta, b is equal to g by 2 square cos square theta. Okay, suppose one example, if the path of the projectile is given by the equation like this, when you compare these two equations, this equation 1 and equation 2, when you compare these two, instead of tan theta, 2 is there. X coefficient is 2 here, x coefficient is tan theta, so 2 is there. Or when you compare these two, then a is equal to 2. A means tan theta. Okay, so angular projection is given. Next, when you compare these two, instead of x square coefficient is g by 2 square cos square theta, here it is 3. So we can write g by 2 square cos square theta is equal to 3. From this, as theta is known, you can be calculated. If you know u and theta, then we can find maximum height reached, horizontal range, time of flight, velocity at any time t, we can calculate. Okay, now suppose in terms of a and b, how we can find the maximum height? So maximum height h is equal to a square by 4b. Is it correct or not? We have to check. The maximum height reached by the oblique projectile is equal to a square by 4b. We can write. Is it correct or not? We check. You see, here h is equal to a square by 4b. No, what is a? What is a? A is equal to tan theta. You write tan theta. Square is there. So tan square theta by 4 into b means b is equal to this one. No, b is equal to, when you compare these two, b is equal to this one. So b is equal to g by means into 2u square cos square theta. We got this one. Here you see 2 2s are. Okay. Therefore, h is equal to, here this tan square theta can be written as sin square theta by cos square theta. Cos square theta cancel. Then sin square theta is there. U square is there. So u square sin square theta by 2z. So simplification gives u square sin square theta by 2z. What is u square sin square theta by 2z? That is a formula for maximum height reached by the oblique projectile. That's why, suppose if you know this formula, then you can find directly the maximum height reached. Because if the formula is given like this, instead of a2, instead of b3 is given, then what is the maximum height? Means a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3. You substitute easily, simply you will get the maximum height reached by the oblique projectile. In such a way we can do. For that purpose, these formulas are useful. Of course, you may get idea or not. If you are not getting idea, with general formula, you compare this one, then you find tan theta value, and then you find this u value by comparing these two. Then by using this formula, you can calculate. That is one way. If you know the formula directly, just see, within a second, few seconds, we can do the problem. Otherwise, it takes minutes. Okay. So no doubt it is a formula for maximum height. Next, range. Range R is equal to A by B. Similarly, you substitute the A value, you substitute the B value. Then if you simplify them, you will get u square sine 2 theta by g, you will get. That's why that is equal to range only. No. Next, what about the formula for time of flight? Time of flight is equal to time of flight. Time of flight capital T is equal to square root of 2 a square by g into b. 2 a square by g into b. Okay. One minute, video streaming is stuck. I will see. Okay. So here, if you are given the equation like this, by using this formulas, we can find everyone. Okay. Next, fifth note point. Note 5. Suppose it is the horizontal plane. One body is thrown into space with certain angle, with certain velocity. Okay, then it travels along the parabolic path like this and finally reaches the horizontal plane passing through point of projection. It is the point of projection. One oblique projectile is thrown into space from the point of projection O with a velocity. Velocity is along tangential direction at this point by making an angle of projection theta. By making an angle of projection theta. By making an angle of projection theta. Okay, this is theta. This is theta. Okay, after some time, the projectile reached the point say P. After some time, the projectile reached the point P in their path. Of course, this is the point to which the body reaches the horizontal plane. It is called point of impact. That point of impact is the A here. Okay, this is here whenever the oblique projectile lies here. At the time, suppose the coordinates of this position of the oblique projectile are say x and y. Suppose this is say x-axis, this is say y-axis. Then the coordinates of the oblique projectile whenever it reaches the point P are xy means that indicates here this particle is at a distance y along y-axis and this particle is at a distance x along x-axis. That is the meaning of coordinates. No, the meaning of coordinates means whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point P with coordinates xy, that indicates the oblique projectile travel a distance x along x-axis and y along y-axis after reaching the point P. Okay, the range of the projectile is the oblique projectile is thrown into space with certain velocity. That velocity is not given here. This velocity is not given, so you forget. So the oblique projectile is thrown into space with certain velocity such that with an angle of projection theta such that it covers a range of Kepler. If it is Kepler, whatever this distance, that is equal to r minus x. No, it is equal to r minus x. No, r minus x. Now, whenever the oblique projectile is at P with respect to the point of projection, what is the angle of elevation of this point P? That means you join this point of projection and this point where the oblique projectile reached. This is a straight line joining the position of the oblique projectile and point of projection. The angle made by this straight line with x-axis, that is called angle of elevation. That is say alpha. Here it is the angle of elevation of the oblique projectile whenever it is at P with respect to point of projection. With respect to point of impact, that means whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point A, at that instant, what is the angle of elevation of this point P? That means you join this point P and point of impact. This line makes an angle say beta with horizontal. Then alpha, beta are the angles of elevation of the position of the oblique projectile with respect to point of projection and with respect to point of impact. Then what is the relation among theta, alpha, beta? Just we are given these only. Y, x, r. These are not given to us. Only relation between theta, alpha, beta we have to find. Relation among theta, alpha, and beta is dash. This is the question they asked. Here it is not here. These are not given. X, Y, R are not given. Only theta, alpha, beta are given. That's all. We imagine X, Y, and R. It was asked in advance once. So how we can find? Here you see. From this right angle triangle, suppose this is say B. From the right angle triangle OBP, you take tan alpha. Tan alpha is equal to, from this right angle triangle OBP, tan alpha is equal to y by x. No, y by x. Similarly, tan beta is equal to in this right angle triangle, tan beta is equal to Opposite means y by adjacent means r minus x. So y by r minus x. In the options, it is given that tan alpha plus tan beta is equal to something. Cot alpha plus cot beta is equal to something. Like that it is given. So first you find tan alpha plus tan beta. Tan alpha plus tan beta is equal to tan alpha means y by x plus tan beta means y by r minus x. Okay, take LCM. Okay, x into r minus x. As x is here, then you multiply with r minus x. You multiply y with r minus x plus y into here r minus x is there. Then you multiply with x. So simplification. yr minus yx plus yx plus yx minus yx cancel. Then remaining is yr by x into capital R minus x. This is tan alpha plus tan beta value. Tan alpha plus tan beta value. But we know whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point P in their path, whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point P in their path with coordinates x, y, then what is the relation among y, x and theta? Yx theta and r. Relation is there, no? What is that relation? Relation among y, x, or theta. R, in case of oblique projectile, general formula for path of the projectile is already we derived. That is equal to x tan theta minus g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. We can write now x square. Here in these two terms, you take x tan theta common. X tan theta off. As x tan theta is taken common, then 1 minus g by 2u square cos square theta into 1 by x tan theta into already existing x square is there. As we have taken x tan theta common, you multiply, divide with x tan theta, so that value does not change. Now you see, this is equal to x tan theta into 1 minus, here x square cancel. This 2 square cos square theta into, here tan theta can be written as sin theta by cos theta. Cos theta square cancel. Then sin theta cos theta into 2. 2 sin theta cos theta can be written as sin 2 theta. So you will get g by here u square into sin 2 theta, you will get into x is there. This is equal to x tan theta into 1 minus g by, 1 minus, you see, u square sin 2 theta by g. That is equal to range, no? Since range r is equal to u square sin 2 theta by z, it can be written as range, no? So instead of u square sin 2 theta by g, we can write range. X is there. So x by range r. Already I derived this formula also. This is another equation 2. I think you know this equation. Okay. Okay. Are you hearing voice and video streaming properly? Okay. Right. Here from this formula, from 2, y by x is equal to tan theta into, you take LCM, r minus x by r we can write. Therefore tan theta is equal to something, you write tan theta is equal to, do cross multiplication, ry by x into r minus x. This is equation 3. Here you see, from equation 1, tan alpha plus tan beta is equal to yr by x into r minus x. Tan theta is also equal to yr by x into r minus x. As these two are equal from 1 and 3, from 1 and 3 equations, okay, tan theta is equal to tan alpha plus tan beta, because these are equal for both. That's why these two must be equal, no? Therefore tan theta is equal to tan alpha plus tan beta. This is the relation among alpha, beta and theta. So whenever you are given the angle of inclination, angle of projection, and whenever the oblique projectile reaches certain point in their path, then angles of elevation of the oblique projectile with respect to point of projection, with respect to point of impact are given. Then the relation among them is tan theta is equal to tan alpha plus tan beta. That was given in advance once. So this is also very, very important approach. Okay. Shall I write this one? Shall I erase this one now? Okay. Next, sixth note point. Sixth note point. Suppose yesterday I derived the formula for velocity of the oblique projectile after its direction of motion becomes perpendicular to initial direction of motion. Already it was taught now. Okay, I will send notes. It was taught now already. Velocity becomes u cot theta. Time taken is u by g sin theta. We got okay. Just now you said no, right? Next to one more point. Okay, here next point, radius of curvature. Radius of curvature of parabolic path. Radius of curvature of parabolic path when projectile lies at any point. When oblique projectile lies at any point, what about the radius of curvature? That is the question. Suppose here it's very important concept. Suppose one oblique projectile is thrown into space with certain velocity at certain angle of projection theta. Then it travel along the parabolic path like this. It is not the circular path. It is the parabolic path. At this point of projection O, the body is projected with a velocity u, okay, at an angle of projection theta. After some time, whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point here, after some time t, when oblique projectile reaches the point say P, at this point its direction of velocity is along tangential direction. No? Its direction of velocity is along tangential direction. At that time, this direction of motion of the oblique projectile makes an angle alpha with horizontal. Alpha with horizontal. You see, when the oblique projectile travel along the parabolic path, at every point here, the parabolic path at every point here, as this a part of the parabolic path is the curve, no? That's why that curve is having radius of curvature. So at this point P, whenever the its direction of motion makes an angle alpha with the horizontal, at that time, what is the radius of this curvature? Because every curvature is having radius of curvature. So what is the radius of curvature? That is the question. Okay. Video is stuck. What about video, please? Is it properly or not? If video is not clear, we'll stop the class here because 2-3 persons mention frequently video is stuck like that. Okay, for those 3 people I am telling, video is very clear. Video is clear to most of the about more than 90%. Okay. Okay, video is clear for most of them. That's why you check your mobiles. Okay. Right. Thank you. I think there may be net problem there. You see them. Even in mobile, if mobile data is over, in that case also it's not properly. Okay. Right. So here you see, whenever the oblique projectile travel along the parabolic path, whenever it reaches a point P in their path after a time t seconds, then at that time, whenever projectile is here, at this point here it is also a curved path, no? This curvature is also having some radius of curvature. Suppose if curvature is the circle, then at every point on the circle, the radius of curvature for that path is equal to same radius r only. But in case of parabolic path, the radius of curvature is not same at every point. If it is a circular path, okay, suppose if it is the semicircular path, then radius of curvature is same at every point. It is not the semicircle. It is the parabolic path. That's why at different points, the radius of curvature of the curved paths are different. Okay. After t seconds, whenever oblique projectile reaches the point here, what is the radius of curvature of this curved path at that position? That is the question they ask. Okay. In that case, you see, whenever the projectile is here, what is the acceleration acts on the projectile? That is always vertically downwards. That is equal to 0. At this point, you draw a tangent to the curved path. Of course, this velocity direction is the tangential direction. This is the tangential direction. Okay, perpendicular to the tangent, passing through the position of the particle here, you draw a perpendicular line. This is the radius vector. Because you see here, when the body travel along the circular path like this, whenever the body is here, at that point, its direction of motion is along tangential direction. That means it is the direction of the tangent. Perpendicular to the tangent, passing through this point, when you draw the normal, that is passing through center always. Okay, here also, the tangential direction is the direction of motion. And here, perpendicular to this tangent, from the point P, when you draw the normal, it is a line passing through center of curvature of this curved path. Suppose the center of curvature of the curved path is here, say. Then, by taking the distance of this point from this point as radius, you can imagine a circular path like this. Imagine a circular path like this. The radius of the circular path is the radius of curvature of the curved path at that point P. When you find the radius of this circular path here, that gives the radius of curvature of this path at that point P. Okay. So we have to find this one, R. Our aim is we have to find R. You see, angle made by the direction of motion with the horizontal is alpha, means this angle is 90 minus alpha. As this and this both are perpendicular, this angle is equal to alpha. Okay, now acceleration G acts in vertically downwards direction. So along the radius vector or along this radius of along this radial vector, what is the component of this acceleration due to gravity? What is the component of small g along this direction? What is the component of the small g along this direction? What is the component of this g along this direction as alpha is here? G cos alpha, no? Very good. So it is equal to g cos alpha. Here, this is the acceleration component acts on the body towards the center of the circular path. So whenever the body travel along the circular path, we know in 10th standard, I think it was there in our syllabus. Okay, when the body travel along the circular path, the centripetal force provides the force acts on the particle, provides the necessary centripetal force mv square by r that acts towards the center. Due to that, the body travel along the circular path. It is the centripetal force. Without centripetal force, no body can travel along the circular path. That's why definitely the body travel along the circular path with force which provides the necessary centripetal force, that is equal to mv square by r. This is equal to say ma. Then mm cancel. Then a is equal to v square by r, no? Where a is the acceleration acts on the particle towards the center, which is called centripetal acceleration. Centripetal means towards the center. Centripetal means towards the center. Okay, centripetal means towards center. Towards center, the acceleration acts on the body is called centripetal acceleration. Here, at this point P, to this curved path, the radius vector is in this direction. That means center is in this direction. Towards center, what is the acceleration component acts means g cos alpha, no? That g cos alpha is the centripetal that acts towards the center. That's why this provides necessary centripetal acceleration. Therefore, centripetal acceleration, comma AC is equal to, suppose the center is AC is equal to g cos alpha. But that is equal to speed of the particle at this point perpendicular to this radius vector is v. That means v square by radius of this curved path, circular path means r at that point. From this, r is equal to v square by g cos alpha we can write now. So this is the formula for radius of curvature of the curved path at that point. Okay, here alpha will be given, or we can calculate. Suppose if you are given u and theta, how we can find v and alpha? If you are given u, theta and t is given, how we can find v value and alpha value? If you know these two, we can find radius of curvature. Okay. If you are given t, u, and theta, then you see, whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point here, at that time its velocity is say v. It makes an angle alpha with the horizontal. Then horizontal component of velocity v cos alpha at that point, that remains same at every path, no? Even at the point of friction also, horizontal component of velocity is u cos theta only. That's why it is equal to u cos theta. Okay. Now, after t seconds, whenever the oblique projectile reaches the point here, the horizontal component of velocity is equal to vx, that is equal to u cos theta or v cos alpha. Next, at the same time, what is the vertical component of velocity? After t seconds, after t at point p, what is the vertical component of velocity? Initial vertical component of velocity at this point is equal to u sin theta. U sin theta. Okay. Along vertical direction, along vertical direction, initial velocity along vertical direction uy is equal to u sin theta, acceleration is equal to minus z. After time t, what is the vertical component of velocity? Vy is equal to how much at this point? Okay, at this point, horizontal component of velocity is vx, vertical component of velocity is vy. If you know vx, vy, we can calculate v now. Now you tell me, what is the relation from v is equal to u plus at? Already I derived. Vy is equal to u means u sin theta plus a means minus z into time t. Okay, therefore vy, vx both are known. Therefore v is equal to square root of vx square plus vy square. No, by using this we can calculate v. Next, what about the angle alpha? Here vy means that is the vertical component of velocity at that point. Okay, here at this point we have to find the alpha value. Okay, we had to find the alpha value. By taking this horizontal component and vertical component, you imagine the parallelogram. Then tan alpha is equal to yy by yx now. Tan alpha is equal to vy by vx. Vy means u sin theta minus dt. By vx means u cos theta. Already I said this also in theory part only. Okay. So here tan alpha is equal to this one. U is known, theta is known, t is known. So you substitute here, you will get theta and alpha, no? Alpha is known, v is known. When alpha, v both are known, then by using this formula, we can find the radius of curvature, no? In this way, we can find the radius of curvature. Suppose when the oblique projectile reaches the highest point in their path, when the oblique projectile reaches the highest point in their path, suppose if oblique projectile reaches the highest point here, this is the highest point. At this highest point, when you draw the tangent, that is definitely along horizontal direction. At this highest point, the velocity of the oblique projectile is equal to simply u cos theta only. Okay. At this point, what is the radius of curvature means? Perpendicular to this tangent, you draw a vertical line. Perpendicular line. Perpendicular to the tangent, you draw a line passing through this point. Then that point is along vertical direction. Because at the highest point, when you draw the tangent, that is horizontal. That's why this line is vertical. When this line is vertical, definitely it is the center of curvature of this curved surface. And the radius of the acceleration due to gravity also acts vertically downwards. That is towards the center of the circular path. That's why here the acceleration acts on the particle towards the center, provides the necessary centripetal force. That's why centripetal acceleration is equal to, I think, power cut off. Power is cut, I think. Are you getting video? అరే అమ్మది పెట్టేసి తొందరగా పెట్టేసి అమ్మది Are you getting video? Are you getting video? You respond in chat box. Of course, it may not be that much clear, but it is running on inverter. Okay, right. Getting video now? Of course, not with more brightness, but we are getting something. We are getting. I think you can able to understand. Okay. So we have to project the two oblique projectiles. Okay. It is one oblique projectile. It is projected with certain velocity u1, angle of projection theta 1. Another oblique projectile is projected from the same point. It travel like this. It is another oblique projectile which is thrown with a velocity. Another oblique projectile is thrown with a velocity u2, angle of projection theta 2, like this. Okay, then after some time, after these two bodies are projected from the point O simultaneously, t seconds after two bodies are projected from the point O simultaneously, one projectile is here, another projectile is here. One projectile, first projectile is at the point P1, second projectile is at the point P2. The line joining the positions of these two particles is this one. What is the angle made by these two particles? The line joining the two particles with a horizontal. So from this point you draw a horizontal line. From this point you draw a vertical line. Then the line joining the positions of the two particles makes an angle alpha with horizontal. Okay. Now suppose after t seconds after these two projectiles reaches the points P1 and P2, at that time the coordinates of the first projectile at this point are say x1 comma y1. For second projectile, the coordinates of this point are x2 comma y2. Suppose this is a x-axis, this is a y-axis, this is a y-axis. Then it is the origin. Point of projection is the origin. After t seconds, when projectiles reach the points P1 and P2, the coordinates of the points are x1 y1, x2 y2. Okay, that indicates the coordinates of this point P1 are x1 y1, means that indicates it is at a horizontal distance x1. It is at a horizontal distance x1 from the origin, and it is at a vertical distance y1 from the origin along this direction. Okay. Similarly, coordinates of this x2 y2 are coordinates of this point particle at P2 are x2 y2. That indicates from the origin the second projectile is at a distance x2 and at a height y2. Now what is the difference between this x2 and x1? That x2 minus x1 means this distance minus this distance is equal to this distance. It is a delta x. Similarly, this distance is a delta y. So what about delta x? Delta x is equal to x2. This is x2. This is x1. x2 minus x1 is delta x, no? x2 minus x1. What about delta y? Delta y is equal to, here it is y2, here it is y1. Delta y means y2 minus y1, no? That's why y2 minus y1. Therefore, the angle made by the straight line joining the two particles, two projectiles with horizontal is alpha. Then tan alpha is equal to, from the right angle triangle there, tan alpha is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. That means delta y by delta x. Okay. That means it gives the slope of this straight line joining the positions of the two oblique projectiles after some time t seconds. Okay, with a horizontal. Now delta y means we can write y2 minus y1 by delta x means x2 minus x1. What about y2? What about this y2? Y2 is the vertical displacement of the oblique projectile after t seconds. Vertical displacement of the, you see, initially oblique projectile is here, second particle. After t seconds, whenever it reaches the point P2, the vertical displacement of the oblique projectile is y2, no? How we can find y2? Y is equal to ut plus half it square. U means initial vertical component of velocity. Already after t seconds, the vertical displacement of the oblique projectile, already we have written the formula also. Okay. u sin theta into t minus half gt square, no? So here you write y2 means u2 sin theta to ut plus half h square means into t minus half gt square. Okay, minus, you keep in brackets, minus y1 means in case of first projectile after t seconds, what is the distance means y1. That is also same formula, but u1 theta 1 we have to write. So u1 sin theta 1 into t minus half gt square. Okay, whole by x2. X2 means that is the horizontal distance traveled by the second projectile in a time t seconds whenever it reaches the point here. That is equal to horizontal component of velocity into time taken, no? That means u2 cos theta 2 into t minus x1 means u1 cos theta 1 into t. Here you see minus half gt square is there. Here minus half minus plus half gt square is there. These two will be cancelled. Okay, remaining you write u2 sin theta 2 into t minus u1 sin theta 1 into t. You take t common. Then u2 sin theta 2 minus u1 sin theta 1 into t by, in the denominator also you take t common. Then u2 cos theta 2 minus u1 cos theta 1 into t. T cancel. Therefore, tan alpha is equal to slope tan alpha is equal to u2 sin theta 2 minus u1 sin theta 1 whole by u2 cos theta 2 minus u1 cos theta 1. We got. Okay. This is the slope of the line joining the two projectiles. The slope of the line joining the two projectiles. Okay. Now, you see, what about u2 sin theta 2? That is the vertical component, initial vertical component of the second projectile. u1 sin theta 1. Initial u1 sin theta 1, that is the initial vertical component of the first projectile. In the denominator, u2 cos theta 2 means that is the horizontal component of the second projectile, and u1 cos theta 1 is the horizontal component of velocity of the first projectile. Okay, so from this, what is the angle made by the two projectiles after t seconds? Angle made by the line joining the two projectiles after t seconds with a horizontal, you will get. Okay, now suppose the two projectiles are thrown from the point of projection with velocities u1, u2, angles of projection theta 1, theta 2. From the ground, if you are observing these bodies, how they travel? From the ground, if you observe these two bodies, how they travel? Along which path they travel? Come on, you respond. When two oblique projectiles are thrown from this point of projection with different velocities and different angles of projection, if you observe the path traced by the two projectiles from the ground, how they will travel? Along the parabolic path. Very good. Along the parabolic path. Varshit. Okay. Along parabolic path, we know. Suppose if you observe one projectile with respect to other, that means you sit in one projectile and you observe the other projectile. That means what about the position of one projectile with respect to other? What about the position of one projectile with respect to other? That means the distance of one projectile with respect to other, or the line joining the one projectile with respect to other, means this line. That makes an angle alpha with a horizontal, no? That's why we got tan alpha. Now, in this case, when you see the projectile 2 with respect to 1, it appears to be traveling along this straight line. Because here the straight line is like this, no? At that instant, the projectile 2 with respect to 1, that means when you see the projectile 2, second projectile, from the first projectile, the second projectile seems to be travel along this direction. What is the angle made? Angle made by this straight line with a horizontal axis is equal to alpha, that can be obtained by using this formula. Okay, if vertical components of velocities are equal, u2 sin theta 2 is equal to u1 sin theta 1. Suppose if both the projectiles are having same initial vertical components, then what about alpha value? If both are having same initial vertical components of velocities, in that case, tan alpha is equal to, these two are equal, that's why it is 0. 0 by something 0 implies alpha is equal to 0. Alpha is equal to 0 means this line joining the second projectile from first projectile is horizontal, isn't it? The alpha is equal to 0 means the line joining the second projectile from first projectile is horizontal. That means for first projectile, the second projectile seems to be travel along horizontal direction. The second projectile, with respect to first projectile, the second projectile seems to be travel along horizontal direction at that time. How we can represent this situation here? Here you see, as the vertical components of velocities are equal, initial vertical components of velocities are equal, they travel same maximum height. Both the projectiles travel the same maximum height. That can be represented like this. It is one projectile. This is another projectile. You see, heights reached are same. Heights reached will be same. Heights reached must be same. This is another projectile like this. Okay. So as the vertical components of velocities are equal, heights reached must be same. When heights are same, you see, here whenever vertical components of velocities are equal, initial vertical components of velocities are equal, then at any point the vertical components of velocities are always equal. Okay, at that time, as the vertical components of velocities are equal, suppose this is for this path is for second projectile, this first projectile, this is the for second projectile. Okay, this path is for second projectile, this path is for first projectile. Now after any time, whenever the first projectile reaches the point here, then second projectile reaches the point here, because both are at the same height. Both are at the same height because vertical components of velocities are same. Whenever vertical components of velocities are same, then distance traveled along vertical direction in a time t seconds is equal to u2 sin theta to t minus half gt square. It is same for both. That's why vertical height is reached is same now. That's why second projectile is here, first projectile is here. After some more time, whenever the first projectile reaches the point here, then second projectile reaches the point here. After some more time, whenever the first projectile reaches the point here, second projectile reaches the point here. That means always they are at the same height from the ground. That's why when second projectile is seen from the first projectile, when second projectile is seen from the first projectile, then along vertical direction there is no separation. But along horizontal direction, initially separation is small. Whenever time lapse, the separation here is more. Separation here is more. That means when you see the second projectile with respect to first, the second projectile seems to be travel along horizontal direction with respect to first. Okay. Therefore, second projectile, not only second projectile, one projectile seems to be travel along horizontal direction with respect to other. That's why second projectile seems to be travel. Second projectile seems to be travel along horizontal with respect to first. Okay. Next, if horizontal components of velocities are equal, if horizontal components of velocities are equal, in that case, if horizontal components of velocities u1 cos theta 1 is equal to u2 cos theta 2, if horizontal components of velocities are equal, in that case, how they seems to be travel? Anybody can respond? If horizontal components of velocities are equal, then what about tan alpha? If horizontal components of velocities are equal, not vertical. If horizontal components of velocities are equal, then these two cancel. So 0. So in the denominator 0. Something by 0 means infinity, no? So tan alpha is equal to infinity. Infinity. When tan alpha is equal to infinity, alpha is equal to 90 degree, no? That means the line joining the two projectiles makes an angle 90 degree with horizontal. Okay, in such case, when you see the one projectile with respect to other, then the second projectile seems to be travel along vertical direction, along vertical with respect to first projectile. With respect to first projectile, how we can represent them? In this case, as the horizontal components of velocities are same, both particles are having same range, because range depends on the horizontal component of velocity only. That's why before reaches the ground, as both are projected from the same point at the same time, definitely they take same time to reach the ground. They take the same time to reach the ground. Okay, here because if vertical components of velocities are equal, then they seems to travel along horizontal direction. If horizontal components of velocities are equal, both are having same range. That's why the one projectile seems to be travel along vertical with respect to other. In this case, if you draw the diagram, as both are having same range, one projectile is like this, other projectile is like this. Here, one is projected with a velocity u1 at an angle of projection theta 1. Another projectile is projected with a velocity u2, angle of projection is theta 2, like this. At any time, as horizontal components of velocities are equal, at any time after some time t seconds, suppose if the first projectile reaches the point here, second projectile reaches the same point, because horizontal distance traveled are same. After some time, whenever the first projectile reaches the point here, second projectile reaches the point here, the line joining is vertical. After some time, whenever the first projectile reaches the point here, second projectile reaches the point here. That means when you see the second projectile with respect to first, always along vertical direction, distance between them will change. With respect to first particle, the distance of the second particle is here. Whenever they comes to the position here, the distance somewhat increases. Whenever they comes like this, the distance between them gradually decreases. That's why with respect to first projectile, the second projectile seems to be travel along vertical direction. Okay, if separation decreases, the second projectile seems to be travel along vertical direction towards the first. If separation increases, away from the first. But they seems to be travel along vertical direction. This concept was asked in mains. It's very, very important. When horizontal components are equal, then they seems to be travel along vertical direction with respect to each other. If the vertical components are equal, the projectile seems to be travel along horizontal direction with respect to each other. Okay, this is the case. I think you are getting video now. Okay, are you okay? Video. Okay, right. Next, one more point, 8th point. Suppose one projectile is thrown into space with a velocity u at an angle of projection theta. Then they travel along the parabolic path like this and reaches the horizontal plane passing through point of projection at this point, that is say A. Here the body is projected with a velocity u at an angle of projection theta. Suppose here in the path of this oblique projectile, there is a wall. In the path of oblique projectile, there is a wall. Height of the wall is y, and the horizontal distance of the wall from the projectile is say x. Okay, that means the coordinates of the top of the wall are x and y. That's all. Okay, now what is the relation among them? Tell me. Y is equal to x tan theta minus g by 2e square cos square theta. We can write now. Y is equal to x tan theta minus g by. The relation among them is y is equal to, because after t seconds, whenever the projectile reaches the point P, so that it is at a height y and horizontal distance x, the relation among them is y is equal to x tan theta minus g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. We can write now. We can write like this now. Okay. Here, sometimes they may ask, what velocity will not be given? Here one person is there. Here one person is here. Here actually, before Corona, one person unexpectedly brought the cricket ball from their friends. Okay, already he got into the house. So the parents are not allowed the person to go outside to give the cricket ball to his friend. Here, this is the compound wall. Okay, the friend came to the position here, and he stands at certain distance from the wall. As the gate is closed, he stands at certain distance from the wall, and he made a call to the friend at this position. That person is at a distance x from the wall. Okay, he asked the parents to come out, but they rejected. That's why he is not allowed to go outside, but his cricket ball is within this person. His cricket ball is within this person. So how he has to give the cricket ball to him? Just he has to throw. While throwing here, that ball should not touches the wall. So at least the ball must be projected so that it just crosses the wall. In such a way, he has to throw the ball to reach this person. We have to throw the ball such that it crosses the wall without striking, and it has to reach the person. At what distance person is there means already we know your distance from the wall. He can say his distance from the wall, this distance from the wall. Then when you know this distance, that is say x naught, then range of the cricket ball must be equal to this one, no? So range r is equal to x plus x naught, because you know at what distance from the wall, because it is inside your compound wall. This part your friend know at what distance from the wall, so he knows this distance. So through phone call he say that I am at a distance x naught from the wall. He know at what distance he lies. So he has to project the cricket ball for what range? For range equal to this one. He knows the range. But here there is a wall. Here to reach the ball, cricket ball to his hands at A, this ball must crosses just crosses the wall. With what velocity of projection he has to throw, or with what angle of projection he has to throw, because velocity of projection remains constant. With what angle of projection he has to throw the ball so that that ball is caught by this person. The ball will be caught by this person. Okay, already we know relation between range and y also know. Y is equal to, already we derived, y is equal to x tan theta into 1 minus x by r. Already I derived this formula. Okay, you know this formula. Do you know this formula? Do you know this formula? Okay, here you see x means at what distance wall lies from the point of projection. R means what is the range to be reached by the cricket ball. Okay, y is the height of the wall. So with what angle of projection? Here this range is known. Okay, theta, with what angle of projection this person has to throw the ball so that it reaches the person. Means by using this formula, x is known. X is the distance of the wall from the point of projection, y is the height of the wall, and r is the range of the projectile. Then with what angle of projection this cricket ball is to be thrown to catch his friend. Okay, so in this way we can apply. Similarly, the same can be applied by the army people also. To drop the shells or bombs to the enemy's places, onto the enemy's places, they use the same type of concept. Okay, next, the same may be asked in another way also. The same concept may be asked in another way also. Ninth one. So here what angle of projection with which the body is to be projected so that it just clears the wall means this one. Suppose you are given angle of velocity of projection. You are given velocity of projection. This is not given. Range is not given. If you are given velocity of projection u, distance of the wall from the point of projection, height of the wall, then what is the angle of projection means? By using this formula we can calculate. So these two formulas are very, very important. This formula and this formula. These two are important for this concept. Next, ninth one. Suppose there are two identical walls in their path. Yeah, missiles, shells. Okay, here these all are the bombing techniques. this oblique projectile is different concepts in oblique projectile are useful for different bombing techniques for army fields in case of wars, etc. Okay. Here, somebody asked, who is asked that question? He has no name, but he is asking the question. You mention your name, I will explain. Right, next onwards, if your name is not there, I will completely remove from this class, from this chat. Slash no, oblique. His name is oblique. Huh? Bala Aditya. Okay, Bala Aditya. Right. Here, one ball is to be projected from the point P with certain velocity at certain angle of projection so that it just clears the wall and it travel a horizontal distance of Kepler. With what angle of projection we have to project? That means the relation is like this. Vertical height of the wall is this one. Distance of the wall from the point of projection is this one. And range to be reached is this one. That means we have to, with what angle of projection the body is to be projected so that it just clears the wall at a distance x having height y to cover this much range. That is the case. Okay. Suppose this wall is somewhat more height. This wall is somewhat more height. Suppose here this wall is somewhat more height. So sorry, wall is here only. We are here. Suppose if you project the oblique projectile from this point, then it strikes the wall. Wall strikes the ball, so it cannot reach. But range is same. Range is here only. But to reach this person, how we can project means for theta angle of projection, if it will not reach, for 90 minus theta it will reach, no? For 90 minus theta it will travel like this and reaches the person. Because for the two different angles of projection, the range is same, no? If for one angle of projection, if it is not possible, then we have to project with the other angle of projection 90 minus theta to have the same range whenever the height of the wall is small. Okay. Next, ninth one. There are two identical walls. There are two identical walls. Yeah, I will say the dots. Okay. Here, suppose there are two identical walls in the path of the oblique projectile. They are kept identical. They are kept symmetrically about the path of the oblique projectile. Suppose this is the path of the oblique projectile. Here, from this point, one projectile is thrown with a velocity u at an angle of projection theta. There are two walls kept symmetrically. This is one wall. This is one wall. Here, symmetrically, there is another wall. Here, there is another wall symmetrically. Both are having same height y each. The first wall is at a distance x. Okay, that is not given. Here, there are two walls kept symmetrically, each of height small h. Okay, now one ball is projected with a velocity u at an angle of projection theta just to clear the two walls. Just to clear the two walls, the body is projected with a velocity u at an angle of projection theta. That is given. Okay, now suppose this is one more example in daily life we can use. Exactly in front of our house there is another house. In between two buildings there is a way, there is a road. So this is the road between two houses. Because of this corona season, our parents are not permitted you to go outside. The parents are not permitted you to go outside. But here the person, your friend in one house, exactly in front of your house, there is a person here in his room. He calls you to send the. He calls you to ask you to send the cricket ball or any something, whatever it may be. Here he asked any book or any one to send to me. Of course, you asked your parents and they won't give permission because of this lockdown season. They won't give. But you have to give this book to him. That is the aim. But here In front of your house, there is a compound wall. For his house also, there is a compound wall. At what distance it lies, at what is symmetrical. These two walls are symmetric. Okay. In between these two walls, there is a road. In between two walls, there is a road. Okay. When you project, suppose you project the body so that it covers a range like this. Here, from this person to this person, that ball is to be reached. That's why this is the range. This is the range. Okay. Suppose when you project the body, as these two walls are symmetric, when you project the body with a velocity u at an angle theta, so that it just clears the wall, definitely it will clear the other wall also. Okay, in such case, what is the condition means? Suppose if you know this distance x, because as it is our compound wall only, we can find the distance between these two. You know x value. Therefore, when you project the body with an angle of projection theta, such that y is equal to x tan theta into 1 minus x by r. R means the distance between the you people and that your friend, you know, r value. Okay, x is the distance of your wall from the projection, your point of projection. Okay, y, vertical height of the wall. Of course, this height is also same. Both walls are same in the colony. Okay, now with what angle of projection we have to project means the same can be applied, same formula can be used here also, like this. Okay, but the question is not this one. Already it was discussed here. The question is not this one. Here on the ground there is a person. On the ground there is a person or walker is there on the ground. When walker says the ball seems to be travel from the wall, from the top of the wall to top of the other wall. Just the person, the ball is in view for the people or for the people on the road only from this top of the wall to this top of the wall. Okay, for what time the ball is in view with the person? For what time the ball is in view with the person? Or what is the time taken by the ball to cross from one wall to other wall? What is the time taken by the ball to travel from one wall to other wall? That is the time for which the ball is in vision with the people on the road. Which diagram I want to explain? Boloman Raj. Okay. This 8th one, same type of, already I explained now. How many times I have to explain that? Just now I explained now. Here there is already explained. There is a wall. Behind the wall at a distance x, we have to throw the ball so that it just clears the wall and reaches the other person. The distance of that person from you is the range, which is equal to r. That is equal to from the wall your distance plus from the wall your friend distance x naught. Sum of these two is the range. Okay. Then with what angle of projection theta must be projected so that it just clears the wall and reaches the other person. Means already here the projectile must passing through the top of the wall. That means the projectile must reach this much height while crossing the point here, which is at a distance x. So you use this formula, theta you calculate. Okay. Total time of journey is equal to 2u sin theta by z only, because time of flight, that is here. Now here that the total time is not asking the time for which the body travel from that. What is the time taken by the ball to travel from one wall to other wall? That means this time only they asked. This time only they asked. That is t. T is equal to question mark, or t naught, say t naught is equal to question mark. So t naught is the time taken by ball to travel from one wall to other. One wall to other. Time taken by the ball to travel from one wall to other. That is the question they asked. Okay. Here, when the ball is projected with a velocity u at an angle of projection theta, maximum height reached is known now. Maximum height reached by the projectile, capital H, that is say capital H. Capital H is equal to, we can write u square sin square theta by 2z now. If you know u value and theta value, you know this time now, this maximum height reached now. Now, what about this distance? What about this distance? Height of the wall is y. This maximum height is h. Then what about this distance? That is h minus y now. H minus y. Okay, now you see, in that case, just I am drawing this part. The projectile is at the highest point. At this highest point, it has only horizontal component of velocity. Okay. So at the highest point, I am drawing just this diagram. Okay. This height is equal to capital H minus y. At this point, velocity is along horizontal direction, which is cos theta. Okay. Now, it is the point A, say, it is the point B, it is the point C. Okay. Or it is C, it is the point D. It is say E. So, B, E, D. This path I drawn. BD path I drawn. Okay. Indirectly, you see, this is the projectile thrown horizontally with a velocity u cos theta from a height h minus y. What is the time taken by this ball to reach the point D? This time they asked. Okay. Initially, at the point B, is then velocity in vertical direction? Along vertical is then velocity at B. Along vertical is then velocity for the ball at B, because it is moving horizontally. That's why it has no velocity along vertical direction. But as long as it travel with a velocity u cos theta in this direction, because of gravity pulls the body in downwards direction. In downwards direction, the velocity goes on to increase. That's why along vertical direction, the acceleration is plus g, because it is coming down only. That's why vertical component of velocity increase in vertically downwards direction. That's why acceleration is plus g. Whenever it reaches the point D, what is the vertical distance travel? At D, when it reaches the point D, from B to D, when body travels from B to D, what is the vertical distance travel? When it travels from B to D, what is the vertical distance travel? Means this one, that is equal to h minus y, no? Y is the height of the wall, h is the maximum height reached. We can calculate. Okay, what is the time taken for this? Time taken is, say, t dash. T dash is equal to question mark. What is the relation among them? From s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means capital H minus y is equal to u0 plus half a means g, t dash square. Therefore, t dash square is equal to 2 into capital H minus y by g under roots. This is the time taken by the body to travel from B to D. That means from this point to this point, or from this point to this point, time taken is also same. Similarly, if t dash is the time taken by the body to travel from this point to this point, time taken by the same body to travel from this point to this point is also same, because this is height, this height is also same as this one. That's why this time and this time both are same. Now, whatever t naught, now total time taken by the ball to travel from one wall to another wall is how much? Therefore, t naught is equal to how much? T naught is equal to h minus y is how? Geometrically, you see the diagram there. Maximum height reached by the projectile is capital H. Height of the wall is this one. Then this distance is how much? Clearly I mentioned with arrow marks also, no, like this. H minus y. Okay. Different walls means we had to do individually. If different walls are there, we had to do individually. Here, if you take the wall here, time taken by the ball to travel this much height is equal to t1. Time taken by the ball to travel this much height is equal to t2. Then t2 minus t1. We had to do separately in that case. Okay. Now, what is t naught? Tell me. What is t naught? Twice the t dash. That means 2t dash. That is equal to 2 into root of 2 into capital H minus y by z. It is the time taken here. If you know the time taken by the ball to travel from one wall to another wall, what is the horizontal separation between the two walls? What is the horizontal separation between the two walls? Means this one. What is the horizontal separation between the two walls? That is, say, x naught. What is that x naught? Horizontal separation between the two walls is how much? horizontal separation between the two walls. Horizontal separation between two walls. If you know the time taken by the ball to cross the two walls, which is T naught, then horizontal separation between the two walls means in that time interval, what is the distance traveled by the ball from one wall to another wall along horizontal direction? At any point, you know horizontal component of velocity is same, u cos theta. With this horizontal component of velocity, in a time t naught seconds, what is the distance traveled along horizontal direction? That means into t naught. This is the horizontal distance traveled. So horizontal distance traveled by the horizontal distance between the two walls is equal to horizontal distance traveled by the ball in a time interval to travel from one wall to other wall. That is T naught. In this time, what is the horizontal distance traveled means horizontal component of velocity into time. That gives horizontal distance traveled, which is equal to the horizontal distance between the two walls. In this way, we can calculate. Okay. Next. Shall I raise this one? Shall I erase this one? Okay. Right. Now time is 10:34. So even I start the new topic, it will not be completed. Okay. If I start the new topic now, that will not be completed by 10:40. Okay. With this topic, I will conclude the class. Here, based on these concepts, in your assignment, already yesterday I sent the assignment now, based on oblique projectile problems. Okay. You can do some problems. You do some problems here based on this. Okay. Right. Thank you.